In Hirohiko Araki's bizarre horror movie analysis, the creator of JoJo's listed Dawn of the Dead, Jaws, and Misery as his 3 favorite horror movies. Despite being an action adventure shown in manga and anime, horror has been an integral part of what makes JoJo's especially bizarre. The influence of these 3 movies can be seen throughout JoJo's in different ways. From Dio's Undead Army in Part 1 to Limp Bizkit's arc in Part 6, George Romero's influence on the modern zombie is a staple in Araki's writing. The suspense of the Stardust Crusaders working their way towards Egypt to face an all-powerful Dio, or the Duane Gang closing in on a serial killer in Morio, is all too familiar to the suspense of a monstrous shark from Jaws. Now, I'm aware XFort's made a video on horror of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I feel like he focused more on the stands and stand users who made Part 5 very uncomfortable. This glosses over a lot of what makes Part 5 so great, in particular its punctual elements of body horror. By the time of recording this video, 3 episodes of Golden Wind have aired, and only solidify that the horror of Part 5, while stemming from fundamentally broken or disturbing characters, is mostly body horror. Whether it's played off like a joke when Giorno folds in his ear, or something serious like having dismembered fingers appear in his mouth, I believe to get this point across we must pay tribute to what are considered the most bizarre moments of each part of JoJo.
Pizza mozzarella, pizza mozzarella, lella 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 lella.
For Part 5, it's the lick. Licks are weird. Like, have you ever had someone lick your face? What does the lick mean? Like, what do licks in JoJo mean at all? It's not gay. I know some people like to think it is, but nah. While characters are more androgynous than in other parts, I feel Araki didn't include this moment to make any statement. Instead, he took one of the most uncomfortable possible scenarios, and he brings you and Giorno into it against your will. The lick isn't all, though. Luca's severed eyeball and fingers only help to intensify the confusion in this situation. The sense of helplessness leads to psychological horror that I haven't felt since I either joined the literature club or was admitted to Hope's Peak Academy. The one film I didn't mention from his top 3 yet was Misery, since it ties into more of the horror aspects of JoJo from Part 4 onward. Misery is a movie adaptation of Stephen King's novel of the same name. It's a psychological horror thriller about Paul Sheldon, the author of a popular novel who, after an accident, is rescued and kidnapped by his #1 fan, Annie Wilkes. While the character of Annie Wilkes can be considered America's first attempt at a yandere, this movie's influence is heavily reflected in Part 5's anime adaptation. From direction, shot composition, opacity, transitions, and editing, the influence of this Rob Reiner film is present in JoJo's overall. Aside from the lick in the first episode itself, which have already been covered extensively by Meti and Nux, links in the description below. Another moment we can look at is Giorno confronting the first capo of Passione, Polpo. When I first read this chapter in the manga, I was a bit confused on why Polpo was eating his fingers, aside from making a tier 3 reference to his stand's namesake. Everything becomes clear in the anime adaptation. Polpo's illusionism is part of what makes him a terrifying character for Giorno to confront so early, and is why Black Sabbath's ability works so well for him. The cuts and close-ups really help to make you feel claustrophobic in this situation where Giorno is juxtaposed from someone so large. Body horror can be seen literally in the body of Polpo, who appears as a bed to unfold into a giant of a man. Barring Tarkus, no character in JoJo ever appeared to have a gigantic, disproportionate body. This is something I expect from One Piece, not JoJo. But then it hit me. What if this is just part of Polpo's ability? What if Polpo's illusionism causes him to appear this way? We may never know exactly, but that uncertainty brings the same aspects of horror back to this part of JoJo. Even in the latest Rohan OVA, we had a glance at some more psychological horror and body horror with the yokai and the blood drinking and And we still have the Grateful Dead and Babyface arcs to come, where our gang star will be put through even more horrific situations. The final thing I'd like to mention with Misery is the bipolar disorder of a character such as Annie Wilkes reminds me of a particular best boy from Part 5 that I am certainly looking forward to see. Thank you so much for watching this Halloween themed video. Have a beautiful Kakyoween, and I'll see you all next time.